Hi everyone, I am Andy. I am an ESL educator with 16 years of experience, and I also work in AI governance and ethics. Whether you're teaching K-12 students, guiding young adults preparing for their future, or supporting adults learning new skills, this conversation is for you. If you're just starting your AI journey, welcome. You are in the right place. Beginning is the most important move you can make. And today I'll show you how to take that step in ways that are practical, ethical, and immediately useful for the classroom. Let me show you. Now, if you sometimes feel you are navigating this largely on your own, it's not because you are behind. It's because the entire system is still catching up. For example, UNESCO's AI competency framework for teachers makes it clear most countries still lack structured teacher training in AI. So yes, there is a gap, but it's systemic, not personal. That's why our individual steps as educators are so important. So, what do we mean when we say AI in an ESL classroom? Most of the time, we're talking about generative AI. That means systems that don't just retrieve existing content, but generate new outputs based on patterns in massive data sets. That output could be a paragraph of text, a generated image, or even a human like conversation in voice mode. In other words, generative means AI is creating something new each time, not just looking it up. And depending on the model and its design, it can serve different classroom purposes. For us, the question isn't what can AI do in general, but rather which kinds of outputs are useful in my specific teaching context. Let me show you what I mean in a few examples that go beyond the typical produce a vocabulary list. Remember to pause the video so you can read the prompts in detail. Let's read it together. Example 1, adaptive roleplay prompt. Act as a conversation partner for my students. Start with a very easy travel question in English, but if the student answers correctly, make your next question harder. If the students struggle, simplify the next one. Always keep the conversation going. This creates a dynamic role play that adjusts in real time. It scaffolds practice without you having to manually rewrite every prompt. Now let's focus on example number 2, self-reflection assistant prompt. Ask me 5 reflective questions about my own English learning habits, one at a time. Adapt the next question depending on my answer. Keep it simple enough for insert the level, but always push me to think about why I study the way I do. Here, AI becomes a metacognitive partner. Students are not just practicing English, they are reflecting on how they learn. That builds self-awareness and autonomy. Notice what's happening here. This isn't about AI replacing us or doing the lesson planning for us. It's about designing interactions that are richer, adaptive, and thought-provoking. But to make it work in practice, we as teachers need to model transparency. When you use AI, tell your students why. Show them how you adapt the output. Ask them to critique it. That way, AI becomes not just a shortcut, but a window into critical thinking. It is also important to remember not all AI systems are the same. Some are designed for text generation, others for conversation, others for design or multimodal tasks. I can mention a few of the most popular ones that probably you already know: ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Notebook LM, or Canva. But the real point is this: don't chase hype. Focus on fundamentals. Once you understand what kinds of outputs generative AI can produce, text, image, dialogue, you can choose the right tool for your teaching context, your learners, and your institution. That's a far more sustainable approach than memorizing every feature for every app. Now, the ethics. Of course, there is bias and uncertainty in every system, and that's reason enough to check and adapt before you use anything. But there's more. Before using AI in any classroom context, even privately on the teacher's side, schools and institutions should have conversations about data protection and GDPR compliance. What data might be entering the system? How is it stored? What strategies I need to inform parents and administrators about the use of AI? These are essential questions. And this isn't optional anymore. The EU AI Act is now in force, which means AI literacy isn't just a professional advantage, it's becoming a compliance requirement. Knowing the basics of AI, being transparent with students, and understanding the risks are now part of what makes us responsible educators. So here's your call to action. Try one of the prompts I shared with you today, especially the self reflection assistant. Notice how it changes your students' engagement. Start building your AI glossary. Write down terms like generative AI, bias, hallucination, GDPR. Define them in your own words so you truly understand them. Last but not least, keep a prompt notebook. Every time you test an idea, note what worked and what you change. This habit will accelerate your AI literacy faster than any workshop. And don't worry, all the official references I've mentioned today from UNESCO, OECD, and the EU AI Act are linked in the description. I encourage you to read them because they'll give you the context behind everything we've covered here today. Remember, AI doesn't make teachers less essential. It makes our expertise more visible because we are the ones giving direction, context, and meaning. So let's start. Pick one of these examples, try it this week, and see how it works in your class. The sooner we experiment, the better prepared we'll be to guide our learners into this new era. See you in the next video.